Learning how to eliminate a threat is a standard military-to-military operation. In this particular scenario, the threat is lying right behind me. The Guam Shipyard and Polaris Point are the two proposed locations for an aircraft carrier pier. And this is one of 8 of the F-16 aircraft that the Thunderbirds traveled with at the Andersen Air Force Show today. The C-17 Globemaster is scheduled to return to Andersen Air Force Base here in Guam in the next 2 to 3 weeks, pending requests from the Indonesian government. But the idea of using marijuana solely for medical purposes hasn't gone up in smoke just yet. Discussions are currently underway to talk about this very subject. The need to redevelop and revitalize Guam's downtown area is something that Guam's Visitors Bureau as well as Guam's Hotel and Restaurant Association is focused on. Fort Santa Agata is one of the highlights and focal points of the heritage trails because it overlooks the rest of them. The Guam Historic Preservation Office and the Department of Parks and Rec says they hope this can be used as a template and model for other villages in the future. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Heather Hauswirth.
Of your friends and of your family and your fellow Chamorros.
A son of Guam has cracked the elite circle of Washington politics.
Our own local boy, done good.
Assistant Secretary for Insular Affairs Tony Babauta arrived in Guam yesterday on his first official trip as secretary, which he says is of great importance to Guam at this pivotal point in the island's history.
And I can make this commitment to you, that as the first Pacific Islander and resident of a U.S. territory to serve as the Assistant Secretary of the Interior for Insular Areas, you will have a strong force for change.
Committed to the tasks at hand, the Secretary shared his primary focus.
At the top of my agenda is the Guam military buildup. I mean, it's going to take it's one of the largest commitments by the U.S. government.
Babauta noted in his speech that he will work hard to make sure that Guam successfully overcomes a number of challenges it now faces to ensure prosperity in the future.
Guam's infrastructure today is not sufficient to accommodate the full impact of the buildup.
I told Tony he's a trailblazer, that now a lot of our younger generation can look to him and can try and emulate what he's done.
And with a strong showing of support here at the legislature, everyone agrees that the Assistant Secretary is going to be a very strong ally in Washington, D.C. For Guam's News Network, I'm Heather Hauswirth. The Ground Combat Skills course at Andersen Air Force Base is 16 days long, and the whole course ends in a 72-hour field training exercise series. The message from Sergeant Paul Rogers, the superintendent of the Ground Combat Skills training course, is clear.
It teaches a shoot, move, communicate. You put those in any order you want. They're going to move up while laying down suppressive fire to get to their end target.
This highly specialized training is specific for troops that will be deployed from Guam to either Iraq or Afghanistan.
So this training we're going to do is going to be joint, which is the first time we've ever done this here in Command Aware.
The joint training between the Air Force and the Navy is primarily for security forces airmen. It comes at a time when the message from the top U.S. commander in Afghanistan, General Stanley McChrystal, is brutally blunt about the future and winning the war. General McChrystal submitted a 66-page strategy report where he warned that unless the U.S. sends more military forces to Afghanistan in the next year, the U.S. could lose the war. These exercises are designed to create high-stress situations where the airmen are making split-second decisions that could mean life or death. While the exact strategy for how to win the war is crafted, a number of troops will be deploying to Afghanistan in the next few months. So while Washington decides on its national strategy, the troops based in Guam will train hard to make sure that they are ready to support the troops. Reporting from Andersen Air Force Base, I'm Heather Hauswirth.